The purpose of this chapter is to give to the listener a smooth analysis of project management and the implementation of project management in arts. In this chapters we are going to talk about Tauhi definition of project management, which is the objective of project management, the project management in arts, the requirements of project management, the phases of managing arts projects, and last but not least, the role of project management in arts. After watching this chapter, the listener will be able to understand the importance of project management in arts. Also, the listener is going to be able to know the steps in order to manage an art project. Let's begin with the definition of project management. There are thousands of definitions of project management. Every definition is based on the same root, which is the way of procedures management for the successful completion of a project. Project management is the process of leading the work of a team to achieve goals and meet success criteria at a specified time. The primary challenge of project management is to achieve all of the project goals within the given constraints. Project management is a specific way of thinking, ensuring that all aspects of projects are running in the same direction in a planned, structured way in order to achieve set goals and purposes. Thus, project management has been defined as the design, planning, organizing and managing the effort to accomplish a successful project. Project management includes developing a project plan, which involves defining and confirming the project goals and objectives, how they will be achieved, identifying tasks and quantifying the resources needed, and determining budgets and timelines for completion. Let's see now what the objective of project management is. The objective of project management is to produce a complete project which complies with the client's objectives. In many cases, the objective of project management is also to shape or reform the client's brief to feasibly address the client's objectives. Once the client's objectives are clearly established, they should influence all decisions made by other people involved in the project, for example, project managers, designers, contractors, and subcontractors. Ill-defined or too tightly prescribed project management objectives are detrimental to decision-making. Project management in arts. Currently, many activities in the arts happen within the framework of project management. Project management, therefore, needs to be considered a fundamental aspect of successful management in the arts. In particular, for the long-term sustainability of the arts, managers must ensure stable environments in which artists can be creative. All art forms, music, writing, design, filmmaking and the visual and performing arts, to mention but a few, encompass a range of activities that have economic consequences and thus need to be managed well to realize effective and influential results. The above definition of project management implies that all art projects work with scarce resources. All art projects include unique and innovative elements. All art projects carry considerable risk and uncertainty. Project managers' key role is to integrate the above-mentioned aspects with the mission, vision, goals and objectives of individual artists or art organizations. But which are the requirements of project management? Project management is a time-limited process through which a project is completed successfully, that is, the project achieves its goals and purposes. Project management is a specific way of thinking, ensuring that all aspects of the project are running in the same direction as planned and in a structured way in order to achieve its goals and purposes. In practice, project management requires applying skills, tools, techniques, and knowledge. Managing resources to deliver the desired outcomes, such as a training project or an exhibition that often come with a limited timeframe and budget. Managing change, for example, responding to unforeseen circumstances. Planning and controlling to achieve the best results from the project plan, which has timelines and corresponding activities detailing what must happen by when. Communicating to all stakeholders, both internal, e.g., the project team, and external. Coordinating various project activities and participants. Satisfying the requirements usually connected to the project's objectives. Evaluating the project's outcomes and impact and, further, learning what to improve in the next project. To the depicted picture, art projects consist of cultural policy subsidies, programs, legislative acts for arts and culture, social policy, labor market acts, employment, social guarantees, health services, educational policy, legislative acts, fourth educational system and the educational institutions. Normalizing of professions, environment policy, legislative acts to preserve natural resources. Regulations for ecological behavior. Norms for urban planning, economic policy, fiscal and monetary actions of the state. Regulative actions of trade and industry. Redistribution of income. In order to run successfully a project management, there are specific phases that should be followed. Every project has 5 main processes in its lifespan, although these processes do not always run individually but may overlap in many instances, depending on the size and type of the project. 1. Initiating. Gather all relevant information for an accurate project plan. Determine precisely what the project is about to. Planning. Plan all actions to be taken. 3. Implementing. Bring plans into action. 4. Controlling. Measure actions against planning. 5. Closing out, finalize. Evaluate. Report. In the following part, we are going to talk about the role of the project manager in arts. Every project manager has a specific role. Each actor brings to the project activities their own way of doing things, and different actors have different roles within the project. Artists are, in one sense, providers of solutions and, in another, the heart of activities. The project manager's main task is to bring together these different actors, facilitate interaction, ensure development of common practices and evaluate final outcomes and broader impacts. Cultural project management tools. During the second chapter, the listener has the opportunity to understand how to plan his own art project. Also, ways of funding are analyzed below. After watching this chapter, the listener shall be able to know the steps of how to apply for funding in arts. There are many ways of creating a financial planning of arts projects. In this chapter we are going to talk about the 3 budget plan. Project managers need to scope out projects thoroughly to secure sufficient funding. Scoping involves estimation of supplies, labor hours, materials and other miscellaneous expenses. Budgets and cost estimations are a work in progress and should include some room for change. One of the most important things is to prepare a realistic budget. A low-cost budget is not necessarily led to receive funding. The leaders should be sure that their budget has been properly planned and researched, taking into consideration all the relative costs. Consequently, the evaluation of the project and the providing of opportunities to be improved are both a result of the budgeting process. It can also lead to make it more efficient and successful. A useful system to do that is the 3 budgets plan. The 3 budgets plan approach creates 3 different budget proposals: a best case scenario, a compromise scenario, and a last chance scenario. Budget A, this considers the best possible scenario, including administration costs, payment for a period of research and development, running costs of the creation period, and an ample budget for material costs and fees. Ideally, this budget would be included in your business plan or submitted to funding bodies for support. Budget B, this is reworked from Budget A, and it should show how you could achieve some savings without compromising your project's original objectives or the quality of work and artistic content. Budget C, to be considered within the same deadline. This budget shows how the project can only just be realized without requiring artistic compromise or allowing the initial aims and intentions to suffer. The ultimate goal is to create one's vision of the proposed work on a minimum budget, without compromising artistic integrity or allowing the creation of substandard work. Due to a lack of funds, many projects are begun without securing the finances to meet even Budget C. Without these funds, artistic content and quality is bound to suffer. If this funding is not in place, managers need to question whether to go ahead at this stage. Can an alternative project be realized in its place without further compromise? To have a successful funding for your project, you must explore and understand the program's goals and the policy aims behind it. Describe the project's objectives from the funder's perspective. How the art project can contribute to the program. Present clear and measurable impact indicators, from the expected number of participants to the value of the project's economic impact. There are various ways of funding arts projects. In this chapter we are going to discuss and analyze crowdfunding. Before analyzing crowdfunding, it would be helpful to explain what art funding is. Art funding is the way artists secure funding support for their art and their artistic projects. But the question is, why should arts be funded? There are many reasons to fund art. Below are depicted some of these. Art increases our quality of life. Being a human is practically being a creator. Every single one of us creates something in one way or another. By funding arts, the diversity and the voices that are expressed increase on a global scale. In order to happen, arts need support. Now, let's have a brief analysis of crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or venture by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via the internet. Crowdfunding is a form of crowdsourcing and alternative finance. Crowdfunding has been used to fund a wide range of for-profit, entrepreneurial ventures such as artistic and creative projects, medical expenses, travel, and community-oriented social entrepreneurship projects. Even though crowdfunding has been suggested to be highly linked to sustainability, empirical validation has shown that sustainability plays only a fractional role in crowdfunding. Its use has also been criticized for funding quackery, especially costly and fraudulent cancer treatments. The types of crowdfunding are reward-based. Reward-based crowdfunding has been used for a wide range of purposes. including album recording and motion picture promotion. Equity crowdfunding is the collective effort of individuals to support efforts initiated by other people or organizations through the provision of finance in the form of equity. Software value token. Another kind of crowdfunding is to raise funds for a project where a digital or software-based value token is offered as a reward to funders, which is known as initial coin offering. Debt-based crowdfunding arose with the founding of TSOPA in the UK in 2005 and in the US in 2006. With the launches of lendingklubbenpresper.com. Litigation crowdfunding allows plaintiffs or defendants to reach out to hundreds of their peers simultaneously in a semi-private and confidential manner to obtain funding. Donation-based crowdfunding is the collective effort of individuals to help charitable causes. According to the above picture, we come across the biggest art funding gap to elementary schools. In the following slides, we are going to discuss how someone can apply for funding in arts. Even in the art field, there are some specific steps that should be followed in order to achieve funding. Always keep our project plan in mind. Don't get carried away and commit yourself to a project you won't be able to run even if it sounds better in the application. Write in plain English. Use short sentences and avoid acronyms and jargon. There is no need to use formal or flowery language. Remember that you are describing your work to someone who has never met you or seen what you do. See our information on how to write clearly for some more tips. Be specific about what you plan to do. For example, rather than saying, "We will run an art project for children," say, "We will run weekly acting and painting sessions for 8 to 11-year-olds over a 6-month period. Each session will be 2 hours long and will be attended by 15 children." Focus your application on the funder's priorities. For example, imagine your group runs a dance project for local people. If you are applying to a funder that prioritizes projects which help people keep fit and healthy, focus on the fact that dance is good exercise. If you are applying to a funder that prioritizes projects which promote arts and music activities, focus on the art and music element of the dancing. Provide evidence that your work is needed. See our information section on useful research for fundraising for some links to sources of evidence and people who can help with research. Include all the information the funder has asked for and any additional information or documents required. Missing things out might mean your application gets rejected automatically. Take extra care to meet the deadline. Late applications will not be considered, even if they are fantastic. Make your budget as specific as possible. Get quotes for everything you will need to pay for, so that it is accurate. Do not include unspecified items in your budget, such as contingency costs, or miscellaneous. Do not apply to marathon funder for the summer costs at the summer time. If you are successful in both applications, you will end up having to turn down one of the funders. This could damage your chances of getting funding from them in future. The only exception to this is applications to very small trusts. It sometimes makes sense to write to several trusts for funding for the same costs, as each one may only be able to make a small contribution towards these costs. Case study of art and culture crowdfunding. One example of a successful crowdfunding project was the Veronica Mars movie project. Those of you who do not know, originally Veronica Mars was a 3-season TV series about a young private eye. Veronica works for multiple clients, but the main purpose of the show is to solve murder cases. Fundraiser Rob Thomas used crowdfunding in order to fund for Veronica Mars movie. The project was a great success, surpassing the $2 million goal by fundraising $5 million. The crowdfunding project also gained international reach. Cultural communication. In this chapter, the definition of cultural communication will be analyzed. After watching this recording, the listener will be able to define the cultural communication, and also the reason that cultural communication is so important. Let's begin with the definition. Cultural communication is the art of improving the brand awareness of cultural institutions and organizations, specifically through marketing of the arts. Cultural communication utilizes technological tools that help with the analysis, the market research, the strategy, and the organizing of coherent communication plans for a cultural organization. Cultural communication analyzes the contemporary field of action in terms of marketing. The different factors that interfere or affect culture and the arts, along with the various methods that market analysis and research can take place. It also studies the different tools, the techniques, and the channels such as social media or other online platforms. After understanding the main definition of cultural communication, it is time to analyze the reasons that make it so important. Society is influenced in a strong way by the arts. Art has the power to change opinions, instilling values and translating experiences across space and time. Art has the role of communication. As a result of art, people from different cultures and different chronological timeline history have the capability to communicate with each other via images, sounds, and stories. Art is often a vehicle for social change. As the Art Education Association points out, art is beneficial for the artist as an outlet for work. Art not only fosters the human need for self-expression and fulfillment, it is also economically viable. The creation, management, and distribution of art employs many. There are some cultures that have affected art more than other throughout years. Art is a very important aspect of the society. History can clearly prove that art is more than what is recognizable by the senses, but it is also a reflection of how colorful a culture is. One of the most brilliant examples of a society that has influenced global culture is the Greeks. Greek panel painting was referred to as the most respected form of art by authors such as Pliny and Pausanias. Panel paintings are individually created mobile paintings on wooden boards. The techniques that were used in this form of art include encaustic painting and tempera. These kinds of paintings usually depict figural scenes such as portraits and still lives. Wall painting is also a form of painting that Greeks have gained popularity from. The tradition of this art can be traced back up to the Minoan and Mycenaean eras. Some famous examples of wall paintings are the Tomb of Persephone, that can be found in Vergina, Macedonia, and the Grace of Philip. Polychromy, or the usage of various colors, were also a product of the Greeks' imaginative type of thinking. It has been used to enhance the visual characteristics of Greek edifices and sculptures. The history of Greek jewelry making started in 300 BC when the Greeks have begun using beads that are shaped as shells and animals. By 1400 BC they started using gems and gold in their jewelry. This step made the art of jewelry making even richer. The Greeks was able to master this art, and this talent was passed on to the next generations. Greek sculpture and architecture show well how talented the Greeks are. Sculptures were usually used to depict mythological characters or significant people in Greek history. Greek architecture is known for its elegant temples that show the rich culture of the Greeks. The concept of the classical orders of the Greeks is also widely used by today's most popular architects. These orders include the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian order. Each of these shows unique traits of Greek architecture. Traits that have always been considered in weaving, one of the most celebrated form of art, architecture. How to create a business in art. In this last recording we are going to talk about how a business plan can be created, the project management tools one can use, and we are going to specifically analyze Asana software. Also, a brief analysis of business model canvas will take place. Finally, we are going to discuss about how to build a solid team. After watching this recording, the listener will be able to have all the necessary resources to create a business plan in the arts. Also, they are going to have an integrated view of Asana software. Last but not least, the listener will be able to know the steps of building a solid team for your art project. There are some specific steps that someone should follow in order to create a business in the arts. The most important steps are the following: create good work. One of the most major steps is to create valuable work. Get to know your target market. The artist should know to which market addresses to. Market consists of people who buy your product, competition, other who sells the same product. Get to know your marketplaces, as marketplaces define the place where your project is placed on public view. Public exhibition spaces, commercial gallery spaces, direct access spaces could be defined as marketplace in art projects. The more you know about your market and your marketplace, the better off you'll be when making decisions about creating and showing your work. Develop a simple business plan. The right way to create your business plan is to answer to the following question: what do you expect to earn from your work over the next 12 months? In what months will the money come in? How will you manage during months when nothing is coming in? How much work will you need to sell in order to meet your income goals? How much work will you need to make in order to sell that amount? If you can sell 50% of what you make, you are doing really well. But that means you need to make twice as much as you hope to sell. Closing parenthesis. Regularly review your business plan. Think of your business plan as a map and refer to it every now and then to make sure you are still on course. Creating fans by creating opportunities. To build your project in art, you need fans. Fans in the field of project are like customers in any other business. There are many shapes and sizes of fans. Admirers: these are people who simply like your work and may never be in a position to invest in it, but they will champion it. Instagrammers: one of the best ways to create new admirers. Art community fans: here are people in a position to help progress your career, e.g., media, curators, major collectors, or other artists. Future customers: these start off as fans, but at some point, will invest in your work. It could be in 6 months' time, it could be 2 years, but they have already committed in their own minds to buying your work at some point in the future. Actual customers: obviously, customers are just people who make such a connection with your work that they are willing to invest in it. In the art world, they're known as collectors. Your connection with your fans should be easy. Wait for connection to turn into customers. Nurture your customers: your clients, your collectors, the people who invest in your work and in your career, are the most important people you will deal with in the course of your career. Go back to step 1 and repeat all 10 steps again. Being a professional artist is a never-ending cycle. During the next slides, we are going to talk about project management tools. Project management tools are the munitions that project managers require to help a team or an individual in getting their work organized. It is used to manage their projects and tasks in such a way that they achieve success. If you use a project management application like N-Task, then you can enjoy the following features. Planning or scheduling. The most constructive feature that you can use while using project management tools is to plan or schedule the activities and tasks. It is required for the success of your project. You can plan and delegate work to all of the team members in a single place with folders, calendars, workflows, templates, tasks, and subtasks. Collaboration. Emails are no longer the single form of communication when it comes to transferring information among team members. Project management tools can be effectively used to add comments on tasks, organize dashboards, assigning tasks, and also for approvals and proofing. Documentation. When the team or the project managers are working on multiple projects, there are bound to be some blunders where some files can get lost and there is no way to recover them. To avoid these mistakes, project management tools offer features like storing files, versioning them, and also editing them, which will save you from any mishaps. Evaluation. These tools also provide functionalities like reporting and resource management that help the project managers to assess and track the growth and productivity. Nowadays, there are several project management tools. Some of them are depicted in the following slide. Gantt chart program. Gantt chart program evaluation and review technique. Critical. Have a detailed analysis of the Asana software. One of the most well-known software for project management is Asana. In this seminar, we are going to analyze in more details this software. Asana software is a service platform designed to improve team collaboration. It helps teams manage projects and tasks in one tool. Teams can create projects, assign work to teammates, specify deadlines, and communicate about tasks directly in Asana. It also includes reporting tools, file attachments, calendars, and more. Why is Asana one of the best project management tools? Much like other task management and project management softwares, Asana allows teams to collaborate, organize, plan, and execute their work. It is a faithful companion to fight work chaos and deadlines. Asana is a web-based task management and collaboration software that cuts through email mess by bringing tasks together. Using Asana, teams can together keep track of all the tasks, coordinate them with team members, share related files, and more. It is a modern way to work together. Asana, a task management software, uses features like workspaces, projects, sections, and tasks to manage projects and work related to different clients or teams. Asana is built for teams so that they spend less time in meetings, writing status emails, and genuinely working on what is required to be done. With Asana, you can work faster and take on interesting goals. Workspaces. How to make them work for you. Workspace is a shared work area for users to collaborate on projects and tasks. These are the big building blocks of your Asana tool. For different clients or teams, you can create different workspaces for each of them. Projects. Understanding different flows of activity. Next to workspaces is space where you will have your series of projects. They are a main organizational unit in Asana and can be both public and private. You can color code them and have different filters in the projects section, priority, assign people, and tags. Tasks. Juggling with your work's building blocks. Simply put, this level of organizing work in Asana is to DOS. You can create tasks, add a variety of information to them, and keep work balanced. Calendar, alternative view for your tasks. The calendar in Asana lets you view all your tasks that are due to be done. Using the Asana calendar, you can easily switch between list view and calendar view to see which tasks are due when. Asana has not only pros but also cons. Pros: the design of the interface is really good looking. An easy to access calendar synced with all of your tasks. Email integration. Possible to view personal tasks in one place. Cons: there isn't an easy way to see all items across multiple projects that are due on the same day a week. The program is heavily text-based, so it is common to break structure, remove a task, or change its naming. You cannot assign multiple people to the same task. With so many tasks in the same place, sometimes the process gets slower. Asana does save time tracking features, so you'll need an external time tracking app. Regarding business model canvas, we could say that it is a strategic management template used for developing new business models and documenting existing ones. It offers a visual chart with elements describing a firm's or product's value proposition, infrastructure, customers, and finances, assisting businesses to align their activities by illustrating potential trade-offs. Osterwalder's canvas has 9 boxes: customer segments, value propositions, channels, customer relationships, revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partnerships, and cost structure. Descriptions below are based largely on the 2010 book Business Model Generation. Descriptions below are based largely on the 2010 book Business Model Generation. Infrastructure AO key activities. The most important activities in executing a company's value proposition. An example for BIC, the pen manufacturer, would be creating an efficient supply chain to drive down costs. O key resources, the resources that are necessary to create value for the customer. They are considered assets to a company that are needed to sustain and support the business. These resources could be human, financial, physical, and intellectual. O partner network. In order to optimize operations and reduce risks of a business model, organizations usually cultivate buyer-supplier relationships so they can focus on their core activity. Complementary business alliances also can be considered through joint ventures or strategic alliances between competitors or non-competitors. Offering O value propositions, the collection of products and services a business offers to meet the needs of its customers. According to Osterwalder, a company's value proposition is what distinguishes it from its competitors. The value proposition provides value through various elements such as newness, performance, customization, getting the job done, design, brand status, price, cost reduction, risk reduction, accessibility, and convenience usability. Black small square. The value propositions may be black small square quantitative price and efficiency. Qualitative, overall customer experience and outcome. Customer segments. To build an effective business model, a company must identify which customers it tries to serve. Various sets of customers can be segmented based on the different needs and attributes to ensure appropriate implementation of corporate strategy to meet the characteristics of selected groups of clients. The different types of customer segments include black small square mass market. There is no specific segmentation for a company that follows the mass market element, as the organization displays a wide view of potential clients, e.g., car. Niche market. Customer segmentation based on specialized needs and characteristics of its clients, e.g., Rolex. Segmented. A company applies additional segmentation within existing customer segment. In the segmented situation, the business may further distinguish its clients based on gender, age, and/or income. Diversify. A business serves multiple customer segments with different needs and characteristics. Multi-sided platform market. For a smooth day-to-day business operation, some companies will serve mutually dependent customer segments. A credit card company will provide services to credit card holders while simultaneously assisting merchants who accept those credit cards. O-channels. A company can deliver its value proposition to its targeted customers through different channels. Effective channels will distribute a company's value proposition in ways that are fast, efficient, and cost-effective. An organization can reach its clients through its own channels, partner channels, or a combination of both. O customer relationships. To ensure the survival and success of any businesses, companies must identify the type of relationship they want to create with their customer segments. That element should address 3 critical steps on a customer's relationship: how the business will get new customers, how the business will keep customers purchasing or using its services, and how the business will grow its revenue from its current customers. Various forms of customer relationships include black small square personal assistance, assistance in a form of employee-customer interaction. Such assistance is performed during sales and or after sales. Dedicated personal assistance, the most intimate and hands-on personal assistance in which a sales representative is assigned to handle all the needs and questions of a special set of clients. Self-service, the type of relationship that translates from the indirect interaction between the company and the clients. Here, an organization provides the tools needed for the customers to serve themselves easily and effectively. Automated services, a system similar to self-service but more personalized, as it has the ability to identify individual customers and their preferences. An example of this would be Amazon. Making book suggestions based on the characteristics of previous book purchases. Communities. Creating a community allows for direct interactions among different clients and the company. The community platform produces a scenario where knowledge can be shared and problems are solved between different clients. Co-creation. A personal relationship is created through the customer's direct input to the final outcome of the company's products, services. Finances. O cost structure. This describes the most important monetary consequences while operating under different business models. Classes of business structures. Black small square cost driven. This business model focuses on minimizing all costs and having no frills, e.g., low-cost airlines. Value driven. Less concerned with cost, this business model focuses on creating value for products and services, e.g., Louis Vuitton, Rolex. Characteristics of cost structures. Black small square fixed costs are unchanged across different applications, e.g., salary, rent. Variable costs. Costs vary depending on the amount of production of goods or services, e.g. music festivals. Economies of scale. Costs go down as the amount of goods are ordered or produced. Economies of scope. Costs go down due to incorporating other businesses which have a direct relation to the original product. Revenue streams, the way a company makes income from each customer segment. Several ways to generate a revenue stream. Black small square asset sale, selling ownership rights to a physical good, e.g., retail corporations. Usage fee, money generated from thirds of a particular service, e.g., UPS. Subscription fees, revenue generated by selling access to a continuous service, e.g., Netflix. Lending, leasing, renting, giving exclusive right to an asset for a particular period of time, e.g., leasing a car. Licensing revenue generated from charging for the use of a protected intellectual property. Brokerage fees revenue generated from an intermediate service between two parties, e.g., broker selling a house for commission. Advertising revenue generated from. In the next slide we can see an empty business model canvas and then a business model canvas filled with the most important information. Solid team. One of the most important things in project management is to build a solid team. It's not just about cooperation, it's about making every team member feel valued and important. You won't be able to get everything done without a great, solid team helping you along the way. So, what do you do in order to build a strong team? A strong team needs to allow for all types, communicate that all personality types are valued. Personality tests are always a great way for the group to bond and see who is who. Place them in their element, put people in their element. Nothing motivates people like success, and putting people in position to do that builds confidence and momentum. Give away trust. Empowering others is indicative of a secure leader. Showing a team that you trust someone else for a task gives them an opportunity to step up and keeps leadership from being insular. Do stuff together. There's no substitute for spending time together. Get your team loose by playing games, opportunities to praise one another, or just organizing social events. The team that plays together grows together. Use the praise system. No incentives for staff. If they love credit, praise them publicly. If they value family time, tell them to leave early this Friday. Knowing what motivates them helps effective management and morale. Be open to newness. The first rule of improve is always say yes. Having a yes attitude to suggestions and improvements creates an open and free environment to share. Not every idea is a winner, but creating the right environment will bring the good ones to light. Be paired up. Don't be afraid to match experienced with new, introverted with extroverted. Once you know your team well enough to see traits, pair up areas of strengths and weaknesses to get a holistically better result. Create accountability. Knowing that they're responsible to the team, as well as the boss, is a motivating factor. Great teams know their actions not only affect themselves, but reflect the entire program as well. Not letting others sink. If you see a staff member struggling, have a plan for improvement. Do they need a mentor, additional training, or a good old-fashioned pep talk? If you see someone having a hard time, don't just wave to them as they're going down. In the last chapter, the definition of marketing in projects in arts is given. Marketing refers to activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product, service, or good. It is one of the primary components of business management and commerce. Marketers can direct their product to other businesses or directly to consumers. The marketing mix, which outlines the specifics of the product and how it will be sold, is affected by the environment surrounding the product. The results of marketing research and market research and the characteristics of the product's target market. Thank you.